Hi, Jennifer. When I was 8, I wanted to have a black belt. So I went to the karate dojo in my town, and I asked the master who had his feet on his desk in the back of the studio, how long for me to become a master? And he said, 18 months, $49.95 a month, you'll have your black belt, guaranteed. Somehow that answer didn't ring satisfactory, and so I actually didn't ask the question again until I was in college and met the Tai Chi master at my university. And I asked him a variation on the same question, Master, how long until I could become a master of this art? And he said, well, every day for the rest of your life. Two wildly different approaches to the same question. Now, what's the point? Well, not too long ago, I had a young president come and say, Jennifer, I want to work with the Fusion Group, and I've got 6 months to make my organization into a winner. Do you think we can do it? And I told him, in 6 months, we could make a beginning. To make an end would take every day for the rest of your professional life. Two wildly different approaches to building a corporate culture and making it successful long term. Now, when I actually began to study martial arts, one of the things my master said that I can recall was, there are those who wish and there are those who work. And I'd like to make that distinction with you, because I think today there are people who wish for a corporate culture and wish to become winners, and there are those who work at it time after time after time. And there are two radically different approaches. Let's talk about the people who wish. In most cases, people who are wishing say, let's do an event, let's call a meeting, let's bring everybody together, let's launch our new perspective and our latest campaign and give everybody the sales literature and get them all excited, take them out drinking and give them a good sense that the company is interested in their success, and then send them out in the field after a day of sales training and wait for the money to roll in. And then they say, we'll do a launch. We'll hire an ad agency, and we'll bring in a multimedia campaign, and we'll have handouts, and we'll have an advertising campaign, and we'll have promotions, and we'll have giveaways. We'll do a sales training seminar. We'll bring Fusion Group in, and we'll do 3 days, and we'll give everybody the training of their life. We'll have a motivational speaker, and we'll come in and have an ex-Olympic athlete talk about what it takes to be a winner long term, and people will be hot. And we'll be there. Now, if I suggested to you that that's been tried, and that is kind of the default standard for growing cultures around the industry, you probably wouldn't be surprised. If I told you that that's the approach that the wishers take, you'd probably understand that that's why it doesn't work so well, because there's more to it than doing a single event. A success in the culture building business is not an event. It really is a process by which you build the culture, and the culture moves people into line and moves people onto the path. What if we used a different metaphor? Perhaps if we talked about the idea of creating a winning athletic team, or a winning orchestra, or a winning dramatic troupe. Now, you probably couldn't count on the culture of winning for an entire season if you brought a football team in and did a 3-day seminar and then said, okay, we're counting on you to bring home a Super Bowl trophy. Probably, if you're going to create a winning football team, you'd have to cast around and do some drafting and some trading and find just the right cadre of people who were your kind of people, who could understand your philosophy and your perspective and your team's way of doing business. Then you'd have to build a playbook. And you'd have to make sure everybody had that playbook, and then you'd have to make sure everybody knew the plays, and then, well, you'd have to go out and run the plays every day, every day, every day, every day for the entire season. And that might give you a winning team or a winning season. Probably wouldn't get you the Super Bowl. You'd probably have to understand that in addition to winning plays, a winning playbook, a winning bunch of guys, You'd probably have to have a coaching staff that understood how we were going to move and change and shift and work strategy based on the teams we were playing against. And that coaching staff would have to be meeting and talking and strategizing every night. So the process of creating a winning football team, a winning dramatic troupe, a winning symphony, is all of the above and endless, cheerful, repeated coaching. So the people who work at it rather than wish for it are the people who put the entire process into place and do it in every possible dimension. Now, let's add one final area to this discussion, and that is the idea that corporate development is a multidimensional activity. What do I mean by that? Well, it would start with training sessions, and so you'd probably have to teach people your way of selling. You'd probably have to teach people your way of communicating, your way of managing, and your way of strategizing. You'd probably have to have the basic cultural philosophical components already in place. We're in this for the best for all concerned. We're in this for our clients. We're in this for our organization. We're in this for our own people. And you know what? If somebody's child is in danger, each of those reverses in the kid goes to the top of the list. That cultural approach is something that takes a while for everybody to learn. And they need to have more than one shot at it to get it right. You'd probably have to do regular speeches. You'd probably have to do regular meetings. You'd probably have to do regular launch events when a new story came out. You'd probably have to put tools on the desktop so that every time somebody thought about managing their territory, they could click on a territory management tool and understand that they had the tools to enable them to do it your way. They'd probably be able to click on the desktop and build a presentation your way. They'd probably be able to click on their iPhone and call up a movie that was a 10-minute coaching tool to give them a little update on what it means to sell as a counselor as opposed to a flogger of a product. So the multidimensional approach is something new and different in the business of corporate development today. Building a culture is a foundation of training built on by tools on the desktop, built on by 24-hour access to computer tools, and kind of finished up by the access to movies on every available subject in little tiny crunchy bites so that people can learn in 4 to 10 to 12-minute increments every day for the rest of their professional life. So it's a tough choice. Are you going to wish and do an event? Are you going to work and lay down a foundation of a lifetime to make sure that that organization becomes a winning franchise? Are you then going to recognize that it's more than a single event or a single process? It's a combination of the foundation, the tools, the 24-hour access, and the components that make it possible for people to see and hear and understand and to converse with each other about what this culture actually means. A lot more to it than we thought. Now, there are those who would offer you an event. And we're in the business of doing events too. Our hope, the whole point of the name Fusion, is that it's not one event. It's an event, another event, another event, another event, another tool, yet another tool, all the tools in all dimensions brought together with one cultural philosophy. And that is that it takes every day for the rest of your professional life. And if you're lucky and successful, you'll have a winning organization.